everyone, and welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is the Blue Collar Wine Show, where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely. I've been looking forward to this episode. I got Mike Sheridan here.
Used to
have Northwest Totem Cellars, and I loved his Cab Franc. We both love Cab Franc. That's one of the things we have in common. And he has a little restaurant right across the street from where I work, King's Market, called Mike's Cafe and Wine Bar. Got it right this
Well
time.
done.
So if you want to, I'll put a little link to the site if you want to look at it. It's an all-vegan restaurant, but when you go, the food is amazing, and he's a very busy dude there.
We have fun.
How many years?
April 1st will be 10 years.
Wow, that's crazy, because I remember when you first came in.
When I first came in, I was 29 and he was 28.
Yeah. I like that. I love it.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a blind Cab Franc tasting, all Washington wines to celebrate Washington Wine Month. This will be my 4th episode, and this will be your 4th time on my program, I think.
I think it's 5th.
Maybe 5th, okay.
Plus there was the times I was the cameraman
playing
spoiler in the background.
Yeah, accusing me of not wearing pants.
All sorts of things.
Okay, so we're going to get started right away. What we're going to do is Mike and I are going to each individually score the wine from 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the highest. The wine with the highest points, of course, will come in first and on down the road. So we're going to do it that way. These are some pretty nice, I think they're pretty nice Cab Francs from Washington State, so we're going to get started right off the bat.
They're all from Washington State?
All from Washington State, yes.
No.
Washington Wine Month. Why wouldn't
That's right.
Okay. Number 1. Yeah, we wouldn't want to throw a curve in there and like through a Loire Valley.
Well, who knows? Or, I don't know, Bali.
Bali? They do Cab Franc?
I bet they have Cab Franc there.
You think
Probably
so?
pay $300 a bottle.
Okay, here we go. Number 1.
First, salud.
Salud.
And to you.
All right, so we won't talk too much about it because that's not really fair, right?
Right.
I will talk a little bit. Why not? We like to talk.
I like to listen. That's why I invite you.
Nice aromatic
Nice nose.
Yeah.
I'm just going to breathe for a while.
A little licorice on this bad boy.
Got a little strawberry note there too.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's spring. Got to smell strawberry somewhere.
Definitely like a current thing going on. Cab Franc, of course, is one of the parents of Cabernet Sauvignon. They matched it or crossbred it with Sauvignon Blanc, and we got Cab Sauv. So Cab Franc, Sauvignon Blanc make Cab Sauv. And I think that Cab Franc in Washington State is some of the best.
Yeah, absolutely. That's when I got into making wine. Cab Franc motivated me the most.
All right, I'm going to give mine a whirl. See what we get on the palate here. Chicken dinner. Well, I should say portobello dinner.
Thank you. That was very thoughtful.
What structure on this bad boy?
It's got some...
It's got some muscle.
It's got some sand on there.
Yeah, some gritty tannins on the backside.
Yeah.
Little
rough.
I get that nice twiggy, sort of woody flavor you get from Cab Franc.
Absolutely. And
so they didn't bury it with oak.
I feel like I've got a cat's tongue going on.
Boy, this is structure big time.
It is.
This needs some. I would definitely say this needs decanting.
Oh, if you're drinking it this year, yes. This is the kind of guy, if I were tasting it in my shop, I would buy it and put it back a little. Or drink it on day 2. But it's got a lot going on.
It does, yeah. Some really nice fruit there that's kind of tied in with that herbaceous kind of twiggy. I always think Cab Franc can be very herbaceous, by the way. You can get a lot of salad components in a Cab Franc, which is one of the reasons we like it.
Yeah.
Because it is so interesting.
But it can't go too green. This is not too green.
No, it's not too green. I think this has good balance. Ooh, on the finish you get that almost like a not sweet tarts, but the, you know what I mean, the essence of it, like a powdered candy sort of thing on the back end. Get a little shot more here.
Yeah, the red, one of those little red, red hots, not quite a red hot.
Yeah, and cinnamon Imperials.
Yeah, it's got some of that in there.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's a good call, Mike. That's why I like having it on the program.
But the thing that stands out with big letters is dry.
Oh yeah, very dry. But there's nothing wrong with that, especially if you have
No.
some food with it.
And exactly, and like I said, this thing, I would not be afraid to let this go
Oh,
years.
oh yeah, this will age
Yes.
easily 10 years.
Yeah,
Easily.
that's right.
So
The smell I like too is, it's the kind of smell when I went into my barrel room and I had things that were, let's say in the first 3 months after they're through ML, and that smell is still ripe in the barrel room.
oh, I like that smell.
This is it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's exactly what. So I'm going to write down my score.
Yeah, it's always hard to rate the first one because you know you gotta leave some room. But
Well,
over 100 Cab Francs, I know where I'll put it. And preface, I like big Cab Francs. That's my style.
so number 2 now. Number 2. We're trying to hold this to 4 minutes per wine. I think we might have won. We might be right on.
Oh, we'll see.
We'll see.
I'll grade you after, Stan.
Well, you can just flunk me if you want. I don't care.
It's free wine. He's starting with at least 2 out of 10.
Okay, number 2.
That's deep color.
Deep Purple Song. What's your
Different nose. Different nose.
entirely more muted actually? I think you can smell the green in this one, the herbaceousness.
I get some violet flowers
Yeah,
on that.
purple flowers.
A floral note, yeah. Early spring with a little maybe peat when you actually put the flowers in the basket.
Oh yeah,
And you've got that mix of floral and dirt.
yeah, I can see that. Hanging in the kind of dark cherry currant
Yes,
aromatics.
very dark. Dark berry.
Good color on this. As
It
Mike
is great
pointed out.
color. Yeah.
Which I didn't realize that there's a thing they put in wines called Mega Purple to give it a bigger purple color because they feel the consumer likes them when they're darker. But you can't use that in Washington State.
Huh.
But you do it in
What's
California.
it called?
But Mega Purple.
Huh. Yeah.
It's a natural byproduct of wine that they just add to it to give it color. But evidently consumers like heavier glass and darker wines. Makes them spend more money.
Heavier glass, yeah.
Yes.
Not very environmentally friendly.
No, not
Just
at all.
put a little plug in for the green guy.
No, I agree. I don't like those big heavy glasses. Plus shipping, that's terrible. Let's see what we get on the palate there, Mike.
I'm going to guess a little more polished.
Boy, that kind of peaty bark
Mm-hmm.
on top of the cherries and currants. This is definitely, and spicy on the back end. A lot of spice. The other one had the spice too, but those tannins seem to kind of interfere with the spice a little bit.
You'd be able to taste that spice in a couple years better, I think,
Yeah, I think
on
you're
the
right.
other one. This has a lot going on in mid-palate. Little cheek pulling,
Cheek
Not-
pulling.
not sour, but just tart. Mid-palate.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. But definitely smoother than the other one.
Very. Much softer
And
in the front.
but I still think it has good structure and good ageability.
Yeah.
Just won't age as long as that one.
Yeah.
But I like that those currant notes of the finish.
It really is nice.
And I think you get that violet kind of blended in there, like you mentioned on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
And that spice. Really spicy. A lot of times spice comes from oak, right? Oak.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, because
Yeah.
Cab Franc to me isn't normally a spicy grape, is it?
No, but sometimes you can get that from the vine if you leave vines
Oh, if
in
you-
on
yeah.
the press.
Whole
Right?
cluster?
It's like oak. It's the same
Yeah, that's
tannin
true.
family. Yeah, Brian always used to tell me to leave more of my stems in on my Grenache.
Oh yeah, he made a
Brian
killer
Carter.
Grenache, by the way.
Yeah.
I like this one. I think it's kind of a Cadillac compared to the other one. But
Let's just say that the other one is ready for four-wheel driving, and this one has a polished cherry finish.
mm-hmm. And a hint and currants, and then I like that on the mid palate toward the finish. You get a little bit of that, vegetal quality that comes through that you expect from Cab Franc.
Mm-hmm. This would go well with pesto.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I like pesto.
Pesto mama. All right, got your score on that one?
I do.
Number 3. We're acting like pros here. Look at this.
3. For those of you visual.
Cool thing about tasting the same varietal is you don't have to worry so. Oh, look at the color. A little brownness on that one. Look at that.
Yeah.
A little brown action. I think all these are fairly current vintages. I had a Brook and Bull I was going to throw in here, but it's an older one I had in my cellar. I didn't think that'd be fair.
No.
Number 3, color. When I was pouring it, it's a little bit. It has a little bit of a brown tinge to it. Not terrible, but it does have a little bit of that through it. Very clear.
Not
Very clear.
I was going to say it doesn't have quite the density of color.
Yeah, a little more transparent, translucent.
Not quite Grenache clear, but
Oh, and talk about a different nose, Mike. Wait until you smell this one.
I'll have to ponder.
This is definitely forest floor on the nose. Dried forest floor, not after a rain, but the middle of August.
Yeah.
I get a little
Or
mushroom.
the middle of a leaf pile
Yeah.
in October.
For some reason, mushroom popped in my head.
Yeah, there's definitely some
There's a
fun guys in this. He brings me on for humor.
Yeah, all right. Dad jokes are wonderful with Mike.
The best.
Get a lot of red flowers too on the nose.
Yeah.
And that you'd always expect cherry currant since it is a cab.
It's a softer cherry
Yeah,
on the nose,
yeah,
though, right?
Yeah, it's not intense. It smells a little bit like old leather too. Like you threw your leather on the forest floor, stomped on it a few times, dripped a little cherry juice on it.
But vegans don't have leather. I work
Well,
on stand. This
I
has been
understand
10
that.
years now.
I understand that, Mike. This is good.
Very soft, very approachable. If you're trying to introduce somebody to Cab Franc, this would be a great starter Cab Franc.
You're right. That's a good point. Not as complex as the other two, but it's good. And
Yeah.
this one is not spicy at the back end. Before we taste the last one, I would say this might be the least expensive of those 3, by far.
It's certainly the most simplistic. But again, if you're starting out somebody with Cab Franc
Yeah,
and they're not sure, this is a great way to get them in and relax them.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
blast them with the. I always use the
This
wine.
is like Barry Manilow, and the other guys were like Led Zeppelin.
Yeah. Metallica.
Yeah,
The first one could be Metallica.
they definitely had a lot of drums.
What I like about this one, like you said, introductory, I always compare wine to coffee. When I started out drinking coffee, I put sugar in it and cream and all that.
Yeah,
And now I drink it black. And I think these are the black, coffee metaphor.
yeah,
Whereas this one's more the cream and sugar.
agreed. We're going right to left so they can follow that, right?
I just bunch them up. A little, you know what? Is it my imagination, or I'm getting a little blueberry on the back end? Right on the back of the finish, there seems to be a little bit of a blueberry component. There's something different. The red flowers are there.
Were these opened up a long time ago?
No, about half hour ago.
I'm getting a little bit of spice on the front of the palate, where the other guys had the spice on the finish. But it doesn't have that berry component on the finish.
Right. It's black olive that I'm getting right up front. Well, I'm hoping this is the least expensive, because this would be a good, nice, like you said, introductory Cab Franc. You wouldn't want to pay $40 for something like this. I don't think. I wouldn't. But I like it.
Yeah, and it has components that are less expressively abrupt. The other guys are bold. They're like, hello.
Yeah, a little angular.
This one, that's right. And this one's a little, hi, glad to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Polite.
Yeah, a little porcelain face.
It's a polite Cab Franc.
It is.
I like it.
I like that term. It's a polite Cab Franc. All right. I shouldn't do that. Oh, there's what I'm going to do. That's how you do it. Okay, number 4. So far, so good, though. I don't think we've gotten a dud yet.
No, I'd drink any one of these.
Yeah.
Especially since you're paying, Stan.
Yeah, right. There you go, number 4. We're cooking right along. Or drinking right along, whatever you want to say. Darker color on that bad.
Definitely dark.
Sorry.
Wow, that's darker. Stan's past his psalm badge, and yet he drips on the guy at the table.
Well, it's the bags that
I'm
always
just
get me.
saying.
It's the
Wow.
bags that get me.
Yeah.
You need
No, I'm fine. I'll lick it off. Yeah, much darker.
oh, this might be the darkest of them all, really. It's
I
almost
think
black.
It's the densest. It's definitely the densest. The most color component.
Yeah. Good extraction.
And the meniscus edge is very tight. Stan might want to explain that to our...
No, I don't want to explain that.
I will, for Stan. The edge will tell you a lot about its age.
Yeah.
And the clearer and the wider that edge around the corner, a corner on a circle. The corner on a circle. For those of you who want to study wine, look for the corner for a while. See if you find it.
Yeah, this has definitely a nice clear ring around it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Now the nose on this one is definitely licorice, big time, to me. Licorice and currant, and I just keep, Cab Franc
Yeah.
always reminds me of black olive for some reason. I always seem to get a lot of black olive.
You must have a defined palate that grabs that flavor. I mean, I got a little of it, but I had to look for
It was all those Thanksgivings where we put an olive on all our fingers and whatnot, you know,
Yeah.
when we were kids.
I hear olive and I think of Popeye, so it's hard to... She was hot when you're 6.
She's probably hot for you now.
Thanks.
This has like a deep nose to me. Like there's a lot going on there. Like as you decanted this wine, and I know I don't decant in these episodes only because most people pop and pour their wines and consume them within an hour after they get home.
You want to know what you're going to taste, you
when
got
you
to
get
follow the guy that tastes like you. Not the guy who tastes after it's been poured by 35 assistants in a movie set or a editor's office. That's if they're not using it for advertising purposes.
Right. There's a little. Are you getting cedar on this one? I just get a little bit of cedar.
Yeah, definitely the juniper, cedar.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in a forest when I smell this.
That's not a bad thing.
No,
No.
no.
An olive forest?
Again, it's not that I can't go there. It's I don't go there on video. I can have plausible deniability.
He's been accused of being seen in an olive grove dancing around without his clothes on.
Yeah, me and Olive.
All right, let's see what we get on the palate. Boy, I like the nose on this one. I think number 1 had the greatest aromatics. This is second.
Yes.
Mike.
This is a definitive.
This would be a good introductory Cab Franc too, except I think you're gonna have to pay more money for this one.
Oh yeah, yeah. Not that this one was wrong. It was right. It was softer, lighter.
Right.
Just didn't have as much. This has this at a different tier.
Yeah, this is
polished.
Like this is like that on steroids.
It's polished.
Oh, it's polished. It's deep. It's
notes.
spicy.
Yeah, this. If you were to define and go to new winemakers and say, here is an approachable, ready to go Cab Franc for the market. Wow, yeah, it's nice.
Now this could be, and one of my favorite appellations in, and I'm just going off the cuff here. It could be way off base, but Yakima Valley. I love Yakima Valley.
Yeah, if I was going to mention Dick Boucher,
Yeah.
this would be the kind of stuff. And there's a lot of great growers out there. I picked Dick because he's famous and he does a great job across the wild. But or Sagemore, because this and Royal Slope does some really good
That's
on
on the
good
Walook
years.
slope,
Sagemore is Walook and
yeah.
the river, but the next slope over, Royal Slope, for example, you have Stillwater.
Yeah, okay.
And that was my introduction to Cab Franc. On a good year, Stillwater it's like Loire, right? It just has the right temperatures to allow everything to ripen just in that perfect gradient.
That's awesome.
This is, yeah.
This has so much going on.
Yeah.
I'm even getting a little chocolate, but it doesn't go full chocolate. Because then all of a sudden that herbaceousness sneaks in. And most consumers, as they're drinking this, may not think of that because they've kind of masked it a little bit in that fruit. But it's not over the top fruit at all. It's
No.
nicely balanced.
I would agree with Stan. I would just note there's a difference between normal consumer chocolate, and I just came out of doing an order of $800 worth of Baker's chocolate for our desserts. And Baker's chocolate is right here.
That's what I'm thinking. It's not.
It doesn't have that super sweetness.
It's not milk chocolate.
It's not
Hershey,
milk
yeah.
chocolate. This is that nice dark chocolate without the milk. Yeah, chocolate's expensive.
Yeah.
I get it in now because it doesn't want to melt. So you got to bring it in 2 times a year. You bring it in October, you bring it in April.
Really?
Yeah, well, otherwise, when you pull out, I'm getting 150 pounds. So if I pull it out in June, it's a clump.
Oh.
It's a heavy clump. It's big. Otherwise, they come in like little gallets.
Yeah.
A mini Hershey
Yeah.
kiss, if
Yeah.
you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this Cab Franc.
Yeah. This
I like the herbaceous. I like it. It's true to Cab Franc, but at the same time, it has a lot of, it's just a really good Cab Franc. I'm impressed with this one personally.
There's no rough tannins. They're
No.
polished tannins. They're there, not overly dry. This is definitely consumable today
But
and tonight and late tonight, depending on how much
I bet you could leave that
consuming.
open 3 days and it'd be just fine.
Certainly 2 days.
Yeah.
No problem, 2 days. The third day, I don't know. It won't be the same.
No.
But yeah.
All right.
The other guy, he could have left open a week. It'd still be. I like them.
I like it, but yeah, it was definitely rough and tumble. So.
Yeah.
Okay, now we got the last one, number 5.
Number 5.
Number 5.
This is just the first flight. We're doing this 4 times today, Stan.
Look at me.
Wow. Like,
Well,
I bring the camera here, but I don't want to get it wet.
You do know I have eye problems right now, so
I do. Yeah.
I need eye muscle surgery.
I guess that's better than nose problems for a wine taster.
Yeah, that would be, exactly. Don't get anything on your clothes.
I will.
I should have you pour in this, actually.
Next time I'll wear my dishwasher bib.
I've been fighting this eye issue for 4 or 5 years now. And it's just, I think I'm finally getting down to it. I have a appointment at Swedish Hospital next month.
Good.
A neuro ophthalmologist.
Wow.
Yeah.
So has he started the brain and worked forward?
Yeah, well,
Because he's got a lot of work to do.
I know,
there.
it's going to be hard to find the brain. There's no doubt about that.
Thank you, Stan, for setting me up here.
Okay, good purple, dark. This is almost as, not
Almost
quite
as dark as the other one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
pretty.
quite, but it's pretty close. That was the darkest one. Number 4 was the darkest for
Yeah.
sure. This is kind of close to number 1, I think. Boy, talk about a muted nose.
Nothing like trying to smell and be very precise. I walked out to my car. I hadn't moved it since yesterday. It snowed orange today. For those of you who are pollen lovers, oh my gosh, I could play tic-tac-toe on my hood.
Oh yeah, I hate that. Pollen can really be a nuisance sometimes. This is very restrictive on the nose. I mean, I get a little bit of earth.
I get quite a bit of earth.
Yeah, a lot of forest floor
Yeah.
on this one. The fruit really doesn't want to pop. I almost get like
It's sub-level. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
there. You got to look for it. It's dark. Again, currants. Maybe a dark black cherry.
yeah, a little bit of maybe some dark flower notes
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Now I could be totally off base, but I get a little hint of menthol.
That's fair. I can see, yeah,
Just barely.
especially on the breath. Once you breathe in and stop breathing in and start to breathe out, right at that cusp where you switch,
Yeah.
it's got that little eucalyptus,
yeah.
right, that little flare. You're right. Good call, Stan.
All right.
It could be from your Bengay last night where your muscles
Yeah, I
were
know.
sore.
Did I ever
I'm
tell you
standing
that-
pretty close too.
Did I ever tell you I use Bengay?
Ben, I didn't know what his last name was. See, I did that there.
So yeah,
I did that there.
well, there's definitely more going on the palate than the nose. And I do get a little bit of that kind of eucalyptus on the back end of this one. So that's nice to confirm the nose with the...
A black licorice, but soft. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not in your face black
Like
licorice.
Panda
You
Bear,
got-
black licorice?
Yeah, it's there. It just sits there.
This,
it's kinda-
spike, this almost has tannins like the first one. Not quite as aggressive.
No, it's more tannic than the other three, but this is a different logarithmic scale. If I know any of the winemakers here, I'm sorry right now.
I like that. It almost has a hard candy currant flavor on the backside. You know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah.
In fact, if you put currant with black licorice in a cough drop and muted it, that's about the tone. It's not a harsh flavor.
Right.
It's a integrated flavor, very muted all the way through.
Yeah.
Harmonized. I like the word harmonized here.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good call.
Yeah, the second sip and the third sip reinforce the harmonized licorice with some black flowers, some black
Currants.
candy. There's that sweetness of tannin.
Yeah.
It's obviously not a sweet wine,
No.
but it's
not as dry as number 1, but it's the driest of after number 1.
yeah. But it's not competing here.
No. Yeah, this is again not as herbaceous as some can be.
In fact, overall, are these from a similar vintage? Do you know? I would say overall these were well constructed. If there is a complaint about Cab Franc from a non-Cab Franc drinker, it's got that green asparagus, green bean front.
Tomato leaf a little bit.
None of these
No.
express that. So
You
they're
just-
all
More in the
polished.
forest floor, kind of twiggy
yeah.
range.
Yeah.
You get the most of that from the Loire Valley, where they do a lot of Cab Franc. But I like this one. Yeah, I do. one's going to
This will be an interesting scoring, because Stan does this all the time. I have to just pull it out of my hat, and as you can see, there's nothing
Well, that's
left
not
after I
entirely
pull
true. We
my
go over
hat.
to your place and taste wines. I go to his place. Not lately, I haven't, but we taste quite a bit of wines, and we banter back and forth. We don't give it a score,
Right, we
or
don't
a
have
grade,
to numerate it.
but we just
Yeah.
know by the way we're talking about that wine whether we like it a lot
Yeah.
or don't.
And when I'm looking at some of the salespeople come through, I'll go over to Stan's and
Did
see.
you score it?
I did. I said, by the way, did you taste such and such? And we have very similar comments,
Yes.
which is scary.
What is that? What is that?
7.5, 6.5.
Okay,
5,
I couldn't read
8.5,
this
6.
chicken scratch. Look at that.
Ooh.
We have a tie.
We have a tie, but not similar scores on the couple.
Yeah, no. I wouldn't expect so.
Yeah.
We both. Well, we don't have a tie. I know which came in first. And then.
Yeah, and I think that we both agree that was the
Yes.
one that if you were going to take a wine to a party for impress purposes, I think we agree which one that would be.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to line it up. This will be fun.
Yeah.
Ooh, we have a tie. That's pretty cool. I like ties sometimes.
Tie with different scores.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. Which these are different wines.
Okay, sorry, it's going to take me a minute here. Okay, then.
I always
5,
like the analogy when you're on the top of a mountain, back to back with your best friend or your wife or your husband.
Oh, you did this one last time.
But it bears repeating, Stan. And you're both looking at the view back to back. And one says, that's the most beautiful view I've ever seen. And the other one says, I agree, it's amazing. But neither of you are looking at the same thing.
Right.
And you're both right. So just be happy when you find you're both right.
Exactly. Okay, so I added the scores between both of us, and here's what we came up with. In number 1, let's see, in last place was number 3. I think that's one we thought was a good introductory.
Yeah.
Cab Franc, we realized it wasn't quite as complex. I was saying it might be the least expensive of the bunch. We'll find out. Mike gave it a 5, and I gave it a 5.5. So pretty close on that score.
Yeah.
In last place, or in fifth
In
place.
fifth place,
Aha! 2018, Maryhill, Cab Franc.
Cab Franc.
Yeah,
And they grow that on the
$20.
estate?
$20.
$20. That's very well priced.
Yes, it is.
I would buy
that would
that
be a
at
great
$20.
Cab Franc to show. If you want to get people into Cab Franc, this would be a good way to go. $20 is a very reasonable price for it.
And it has a very windy site, Maryhill.
Yeah, right.
Lots of wind, right on the gorge.
Yeah.
It's where the windsurfers are, just across the river a little bit down.
Yeah.
So it's got a lot of acid challenges. So yeah,
They did a nice job with that.
it is. I like it.
Okay,
$20.
now we had a tie between number 1 and number 2, so it doesn't matter. This is a tie for, well, third, fourth place, right?
Isn't this?
No. Oh yeah, you're right.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, no, thank you.
The
Mike.
judges had trouble adding.
I
We're
told
right
you.
back to you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're right. I think this is this one right here. Yeah. I
Yes.
told you I was having a hard time.
Yeah.
Okay, so on number 5 came in fourth place, and this let's see, number 5. I gave it a 7. Mike gave it a 6. That's pretty close.
Yes, it is.
Number 5 is the
Owen Rowe.
Owen Rowe Rosa Mystica
I wonder
Cabernet
where-
Franc
Do you know where the vineyard is?
2018. It
He gets his all over.
Yakima Valley.
Yeah, Yakima Valley is a big valley.
It is
I used to get fruit from
the oldest.
one of his
The oldest
spots.
appellation in the state of Washington, established in 1983.
I have a bottle that says Washington State Appellation,
Oh, well,
1975.
oh, the official appellation.
Chateau Saint Michel.
Okay, $33.
There you go.
So it's
Nice.
still Maryhill's a nice value, but 33 isn't bad.
Yeah,
Double threes.
I think that's still fair. That's
Yeah.
how I would price these.
Yeah. And then now we have a tie for
Now we have a tie.
second and third place. Thanks for seeing that, Mike.
Sure.
Okay, so we're just gonna, these are both tied for second and third place. Number 1, which I scored a 7 and Mike scored a 7.5, so that's, yeah. Brown Family Vineyards,
Where's that?
Bittner Estate, Cab Franc, 2019. This was an 18. This has to be, yeah, this is an 18. 18, great vintage in Washington, by the way. So Brown Family Vineyards are owned by Precept Brands. $53. Check that out.
53. I got out too early, Stan. 53 for a Cab Franc. You're getting up into some fun stuff, but
Yeah.
it's good.
It is good.
I liked it. Which one was this, Stan? What
This
number?
was number 1.
Yeah, this was the big guy.
Yes.
This sat outside. Stan and I disagreed on prices, but the thing that intrigues me was how bold this was. I would love to taste this on day 3.
I'd love to age that for
Yeah,
5 or 6 years
But
and see how.
day 3
yeah,
will give you an idea what it's going to taste like in 6 years.
I'll let you know.
All right, there you go. Scars. See, I manipulated
So tied
that.
second, third, with number 1 is number 2.
Let's keep that.
Tamarack
so we can
Cellars.
see it. Oh, they're very good always.
2019, Columbia Valley. This rolls in at $29. So
Wow.
value-wise,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah.
this would be the most interesting one if you wanted to age a wine and see how it does. This would be a great one. Tamarack, I think, was more out of the chute.
Yeah, you're ready to go now.
A little more
You're
polished.
pouring-
Remember we saw
You're
it?
pouring wine
Yeah.
and you're serving something pesto. Away
Yeah,
you go.
yeah, way you go, pesto.
Yeah.
Okay, so in first place, with a cumulative score of 18, I gave it a 9.5. Mike gave it an 8.5. So we're
Which was still my tallest score.
yeah, and it was my
See,
tallest.
I cashed mine a bit.
I thought this was a little bit like, this was like treating yourself. I'm curious about the price on this one.
Yeah.
Number 1. Oh, I love
Damsel.
I love Damsel.
I love
Sarah.
her. She's
I know.
great.
This is
Great.
I'm glad this came in first because I love this winery. This is
Yeah.
a new one I discovered about 2 years ago. Damsel Cellars, 2019. So that were pretty. Boucher Vineyard,
Yeah. I know. Guess who said that?
Yakima Valley,
I have no idea.
Cabernet Franc. This roll now. Get this, $37. If you guys want to really
$37.
a killer Cab Franc.
She's a wonderful winemaker, up and coming. Get it now and then brag about it 8 years from now.
Yeah.
Say you got them early. She's been around a while. She used to work for Darby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and started out. She's paid her dues. She's very good.
Yeah.
So,
Kind of the
bonus.
Ashley Trout kind of profile.
Oh, better.
Better than
Oh,
Ashley
yeah.
Trout.
Have you seen Ashley Trout? I know.
I like Ashley Trout.
Yeah.
She's a good winemaker.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
No, it's good. Yeah,
right.
I haven't seen Ashley. What did she do with the South Hemisphere, Northern Hemisphere?
Yeah, yeah.
What was that?
Well, she made wine down in Argentina,
Right,
and then
right.
here, and she worked for Reininger,
And she worked for Woodrow, which
and
was
she started
Terrell
flying,
Estates.
and she started flying trout.
Yes.
Yeah, and now
Yeah,
she
she
has.
was very good,
Now she has
yes.
Brook and Bull. Not to talk about her damsel. This, guys, if you can get your hands on this bad boy or girl, go
And-
for it.
And if you're in Friday Harbor, they're in Friday Harbor next week.
Are they?
They have a tasting with one of your
Oh
distributors.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, we have
Yeah.
we have a tasting next week.
Yeah,
Thanks for reminding me.
sure. Well, I have
Awesome.
one of those little chips on everybody's cars that tells me where they're going.
Oh, I thought you kept it on your shoulder. All right, thanks, Mike. That was
Stan?
awesome.
Thanks for spilling on me. I appreciate it.
Cheers.
I can smell like I'm working. Thank you, Stan.
There we go. Thanks for taking a little time of your day. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see what's coming up next. I'm going to do another Washington wine episode before the end of the month, but this will be a fun one. I'm excited about this. Good turn. I mean,
All right.
they were all good.
What episode was this, Stan?
600 and something.
600 and something.
Yeah, I think I'm at like 630 or somewhere in there.
I told somebody today he's over 600.
Yeah.
When I was coming out here.
Yeah, and I'm getting close to 800 subscribers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's exciting. I'm
Good.
excited. I'm glad you guys enjoy the show.
Good.
You keep watching, and I'll keep helping you spend your wine dollars
Yeah.
wisely.
I've got 800 relatives ask me for free wine.